Hi Dixons, I'm Simon Palmer, Trust Assistant Principal at Dixons.
And I'm Adam Clough, Vice Principal at Dixons.
Today's episode is all about how to build ratio using the Everybody Writes technique. It will include real classroom footage of teachers modelling how to use these techniques with students. Now, Everybody Writes is a technique that uses formative writing prompts to develop students' thinking.
So while not exhaustive, we are going to discuss 7 techniques that you can use to support implementing the Everybody Writes strategy in your classroom. So firstly, you want to consider question design. Everybody Writes uses formative writing prompts frequently throughout the lesson. So let's have a look at a list of summative and formative questions. What do you notice is the difference between the two types of questions? And what are the benefits of asking formative questions? The formative questions ask for some reasons rather than the reason. So they ask questions for which it's hard to be wholly wrong, and as long as you're diligent and thoughtful, of course. A formative prompt lets you start with a maybe. So an example of this is, maybe one reason is. We know that putting words onto a page can be really intimidating for students, and a simple change in wording like this, which makes it clear that the point of the task is to explore a topic rather than to prove knowledge, can make classrooms feel safer. This can support students in taking risks and engaging more deeply with a writing task. Secondly, writing before discussion. And writing for a minute or so before discussion will lead to better listening, more confident participation, and higher quality ideas to share. Thirdly, you want to consider time frame. So using short, formative written reflections in the midst of learning can help students to discover and expand their thinking. Fourth, you want to consider what we refer to as hunting. So circulating and glancing over shoulders while students are writing allows a teacher to hunt. So that's selecting ideas that deserve the class's attention rather than fish, which is calling on students blindly in the hope that they get the desired answer. Fifth is habit building. Peps McRae states that to turn an activity into a routine, you want to make your directions simple, clear-cut and stepped. Have students firstly get ready with paper on the desk, pens ready before you pose a question. Sixth, use a punchy cue. McRae continues with, make the first action easy off the blocks and students will be more vested in the rest of the routine. It does help if the cue to begin writing is consistent, so the same words every time and delivered with a change of tone. Go is a pretty good punchy cue. Seventh is motivation. So student motivation is also impacted by what the teacher does when students are working. So you may want to circulate the room, narrate the positive, remind warmly of expectations, or provide precise praise. Slowing down the pace, in circulating, and really looking does give the message that the teacher is really looking carefully to see if everybody's writing.
So in this first clip, you will see the science teacher teaching about how alternating electric currents produce alternating magnetic fields. They use the Everybody Writes technique in the check for understanding, then follow this up with cold call questioning, including the stretch it technique. And they do this to address errors and misconceptions identified when circulating the room. Let's say you've got two situations. You've got a battery that's part of a circuit. Now, you've got another situation where you've got an AC as part of a circuit. Remind me, what does AC stand for, Mariam? Alternating current. You've got an alternating current. What does DC stand for? Go for Thailand. Direct current. Now, when a current flows around that wire, if I've got a current flowing through this wire, it's going to produce a field around it. What type of field will it produce? Jada? Magnetic field. Now, I think if you've got a direct current flowing, the current's going around in one direction, it's going to produce a magnetic field, but that magnetic field's going to stay constant. We don't need to worry about the direction of it for now, but the direction will stay, keep going in the same direction. Now, if it's an alternating current going around, it's going to produce a magnetic field around it, but that magnetic field is going to keep changing direction. So using those ideas on your whiteboards, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to answer these questions in natural state, after which I'm going to be cold calling some of you. So you've got 2 minutes to answer these questions on your mini whiteboards. Start now. Good, I can see so many pens moving straight away. Just waiting for 2 people, please, to get started. Good, just waiting for 1 person now. Green pen's ready in 5. Good to see students switching to green. Green pen's ready in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Right, ready for cold calls. I'm going to ask different students have seen some good answers. 1 or 2 of you made a couple of mistakes. We're just going to address those gaps. So say that first one I saw pretty much everyone said true. Now, in this second clip, you will see the English teacher preparing students for an analysis of war poetry by teaching about PTSD and how it might manifest. The teacher again uses the everybody writes technique to check students understand the term. They use a show call of a student's work to both celebrate success and identify some next steps.
What I'd like to do is read the next bit. We're going to look at some symptoms of PTSD. So, Aaron, could you start us off there with that post-traumatic stress?
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition that causes when someone witnesses or experiences a severely traumatic event.
Lovely, pause there. Just underline or highlight the word severely. We're talking about extremes here, okay? So we wouldn't necessarily see PTSD if you were stressed, just if you were stressed, or if you were having a mildly stressful experience. We're talking about severely traumatic events. Now that's very subjective, isn't it? That really depends on what you would classify as being severe and traumatizing. It's different to different people. But we're talking about extremes. This is not a day-to-day thing, but it's also something everyone needs to be aware of because it can happen. It could happen to anyone in a normal situation, not just in work. Okay, so anything that is severely traumatic is extreme, could cause that. People with the disorder may experience PTSD symptoms such as, could you read the list of symptoms that follow that, please? Such as, Sienna? Frequent
fear, stress, and anxiety stemming from trauma.
Good, so just highlighting fear, stress, and anxiety. Those would be symptoms. They may relive the event through flashbacks or nightmares and have intense disturbing thoughts and feelings related to the event. So again, I've just underlined and highlighted some of the potential symptoms of PTSD there. Okay. And what I've written down there is my sort of interpretation of that, the idea of reliving the event in flashbacks or in nightmares. There's a lack of control there, so I've actually written the word next to that as an uncontrollable nature to PTSD. It's probably something that you would struggle to have a grip on. You can't necessarily stop yourself from having nightmares. So there's an uncontrollable nature to it. I think that's really important. Right, on your whiteboards, I would like you to answer the following 2 questions. What is PTSD? And how might it manifest itself? So that just means, how might it come across? So just on your whiteboard, what is PTSD first? So I would like the definition, but as much as you can say about it, and then how might it manifest itself? Great to see everyone writing straight away. Five. Pen stand for it if you want already. 3. Stand for the joiners there, please. 2, 1. Show me. Just hold that really steady for me so I can check that we are along the right lines. Good. Good. Lovely. Right, just find or keep your current pen, find your other current book, and just check you've got some of those things. Now, Sienna's defined it for us beautifully here, so post-traumatic stress disorder is what it stands for. But what we just maybe need to make sure we've got is that it's a medical condition. So quite a few whiteboards people say, well, it is a medical condition or a disorder.
Thank you for watching this episode on how to build ratio using the everybody writes technique. For a more detailed description of this technique, please look in the video description. Please like and subscribe to Open Source and be sure to watch the coming episodes in this series.